What's up, nail crew? Who wants to learn how to do an ombre using the tap and scrub method combined? So the first thing you want to do is you want to have your nails all ready to go and get your ombre brushes out. I personally use the ones from OG Dip Powder Crew, and you can use any fluffy eyeshadow brush. You want to start by getting your powders ready and putting them each in mini cupcake liners or some kind of other little container. You want to apply the dip base to the entire nail. Then take the lighter color. I like to start with the lighter color first and start tapping that in the area you want to go. Then tap the darker color on the other area. So you can see me here tapping the lighter pink, which I accidentally contaminated with the darker pink. It's not the color that it should be, but I still loved it. And you can see I'm gonna go through and do this for every single nail. When I'm doing a tap / scrub ombre, I like to do 2 to 3 layers. So when you're tapping one color on, after you finish tapping it, I like to then tap my nail to the side so that when you go to tap the other color on, you're not contaminating the colors like I did. So you can see on my second layer of dip, I'm going through, and this is where I start to use the combination of tap and scrub. You'll see right here on my pointer, first I start by tapping it on, and I tap on the lighter color, and then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna jump to the darker color, and I'll start tapping that at first, but then I do a little bit of scrub. So you can see I'm like kind of dabbing it in. I'm like dabbing, scrubbing it in, and this way it just helps the color payout show up a lot more pigmented, in my opinion. I go through the same idea for each nail, and I'll very gently tap on the bottom, but mostly I tap the darker color in. For me, it just really, again, helps to blend the ombre line and look more natural as compared to like 2 stark blocked colors instead of doing an ombre. So now I'm getting to the third layer, and you can see I barely tap at all. I tap it on slightly and then start doing the dab / scrub in. And I do that for pretty much the entire third layer. It just really helps on this last layer to get the color payout and that color blend really so nice and give you that gorgeous natural ombre that you're looking for. So here I'm going through on my middle finger and doing my third layer, and you can see some people like to alternate colors. I found since I'm doing this combination of tap and scrub, I don't need to alternate colors, and it works out the easiest for me if I do the light color first and then tap / scrub that darker color in on the last layer. So you can see that gorgeous pink going in, and now I cover all of my nails with clear dip powder. And this is super important because you just spent all that time perfecting that gorgeous ombre, and now you want to protect those colors when you activate and then buff. I use OG Dip Powder's Original Glass. I use that on every nail of every mani. For me, it just, I don't majorly buff, but once in a while I will accidentally with my file off too much color when I'm cleaning up my cuticle line, and then I activate it, I let that dry for at least 5 minutes, and now I'm going through, I buffed and I shaped just to make sure everything looks nice and clean before I go and I top coat. And like I always do, I use my file to clean up my cuticle lines. That is my secret to getting really nice cuticle lines. I use a different bit now to do my cuticle lines, and I will link that in the description because let me tell you, it is bananas good. Now I'm gonna do my top coating, and I'm using OG Dip Powder liquids, and they work very differently than other liquids. The first thing you wanna do one hand at a time. You wanna activate all 5 nails, and then immediately go in with the first layer of top coat on all 5 nails. Then you go back and you start to look at the nails and say, okay, am I getting this like crinkling effect? And that usually takes about 15, maybe 20 seconds, depending on like how warm or cold your house is. And then you want to go in with your second layer of top coat. And this is the more detailed top coat, where you always want to make sure you cap your edges, and you can already see how crazy shiny they are after a few minutes. If you like ombre, come check out this next video where I ombre with chunky glitters. Thanks for joining me, nail crew.